There is a quiet relief that comes when you realize you don't have to be consistent anymore. Not consistent in mood, not consistent in energy, not consistent in how you show up from one moment to the next. This episode is about what it's like to be human again when the pressure to hold yourself together has softened. For a long time, many of us try to stabilize ourselves through consistency. We aim to feel a certain way, respond a certain way, be a certain version of ourselves across situations. Even when we don't say it explicitly, there's often a hope that we'll become predictable in a good way. Calmer, kinder, more grounded, more stable. Consistency can feel like maturity, but there may come a point when that effort becomes tiring. When holding yourself to a standard, even a gentle one, starts to feel like another form of monitoring. You may notice that your inner life no longer lines up neatly. One moment you're interested, the next you're indifferent. One moment you're patient, the next you're irritated. And instead of trying to smooth that out, something in you lets it be uneven. This doesn't feel like losing control. It feels like stopping the effort to control. Being human without needing to be consistent means you no longer require your inner life to tell a coherent story. You don't need today to match yesterday. You don't need your reactions to align. You don't need to explain why you feel one way now and another way later. You let experience be variable. This can feel unsettling at first. Inconsistency is often associated with instability. We're taught that to be reliable, we must be emotionally even. To be trustworthy, we must be predictable. But there's another kind of reliability that emerges here. You're reliable in your presence, not in your mood. You show up. You respond. You're here, even when your inner state shifts. That's enough. You may notice this most clearly with irritation. Irritation appears sharp and uninvited. In the past, you might have tried to correct it, to soften it, to explain it away. Now, you notice it without turning it into a problem. Irritation comes. It lives for a moment. It leaves. It doesn't become evidence of who you are. The same is true for interest. You may feel drawn to something briefly, without wanting it to become a direction. Curiosity appears, then fades. You don't need to chase it or make sense of it. You let it pass. This episode isn't about emotional detachment. You're still feeling things. You're just not asking them to behave. Being human without needing to be consistent means you stop treating your inner life like a project that needs management. You don't need to smooth the edges. You don't need to stabilize the pattern. You don't need to maintain a tone. You respond as you are. There can be moments of boredom here. Boredom without restlessness. Just a flatness that doesn't demand entertainment or meaning. In the past, boredom may have felt like failure, a sign that something was wrong, missing, or unengaged. Now, boredom can simply be another state passing through. You don't need to escape it. You don't need to fill it. You let it be. There can also be moments of warmth, laughter, ease. They arise without announcement, without explanation. You don't question them. You don't worry about whether they'll last. You enjoy them while they're here. This can feel very different from how life used to be organized. Before, emotions and states may have felt like indicators, signals pointing toward growth or regression. Now, they're just weather. They pass through a larger field that doesn't change. That field is presence. Presence doesn't require consistency to function. You can be irritated and present, bored and present, interested and present, flat and present. Nothing needs to be corrected. This doesn't mean behavior is unimportant. You still choose how to act. You still take responsibility for what you do, but your actions aren't driven by the need to maintain an internal image. You don't need to feel a certain way to act appropriately. This is a subtle freedom. You stop waiting for your inner life to line up before you live. You live, and your inner life moves as it moves. This can make relationships feel different. You may be quieter some days, more open on others, less interested in explaining why, less concerned with being understood consistently. You're not withholding. You're not unstable. You're just not managing perception. Others may or may not notice this shift. It doesn't need to be announced. It doesn't need to be justified. It's simply a quieter way of being. You may notice that you have more patience for yourself here. Not because you're trying to be compassionate, but because there's nothing to defend. You're not protecting an identity. You're not maintaining a standard. You're letting yourself be as you are. This episode isn't about embracing chaos or unpredictability. It's about recognizing that variability is already part of being human. Consistency was never the requirement. Presence was. When presence is there, inconsistency doesn't threaten anything. You can feel one way in the morning and another way in the afternoon without needing to reconcile the difference. You don't need to explain the shift to yourself or anyone else. You let life move. This season isn't about becoming a better version of yourself. It's about becoming less invested in versioning yourself at all. Being human without needing to be consistent means you stop editing yourself in real time. You don't need to be coherent to be real. If you're listening to this and noticing that your inner life feels more varied lately, less tidy, less predictable, you're not unraveling. You're allowing life to move naturally. If these reflections feel like something you can return to, you're welcome to stay. Liking the video helps it reach others who may feel uneasy about not feeling the same every day. And if you want to keep a steady space like this available, you can subscribe, not for stability, but for companionship. If someone you care about seems different from day to day lately, less defined, less explainable, you're welcome to share this with them, only if it feels right. You don't need to be consistent to be present. You just need to be here.